Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your sources, your articles, your research, and really dig into the fascinating nuggets of knowledge hidden inside.
Our job is basically to give you that shortcut to being well-informed, maybe find some surprising facts, and hopefully keep you hooked along the way.
And today, we are plunging into something pretty extraordinary. We've got excerpts from the Secrets Book of Enoch.
Yeah, this one's different. You kind of have to set aside what you think you know about ancient views of the cosmos for a bit.
Right, imagine getting like a personal guided tour of the universe, but your guides are angels, and the map was drawn up thousands of years ago.
We're talking multiple levels of heaven, intricate cosmic machinery, divine judgment, and even creation secrets that supposedly weren't even told to the angels themselves.
It's definitely ambitious. So our mission today is to unpack this, well, this unique vision laid out in the book.
Exactly. Let's get into it, starting with how this whole journey even kicks off for this figure, Enoch.
Okay, so the text sets the scene. We learn about Enoch, describes him as a wise man, a great artificer.
And it's very specific about his age, isn't it?
Yeah, 165 years until he fathered his son Methuselah, and then another 200 years after that. So 365 years total.
That number, 365, it just jumps out immediately, right? The solar year.
Exactly.
In a text that gets really into cosmic timekeeping later, starting with a lifespan mirroring the sun's cycle, well, it feels deliberate, like it's marking Enoch himself as aligned with these rhythms.
That's a great point. It kind of grounds him in time before he, transcends it. And the moment it happens is strange.
Very strange. He's home alone, resting, maybe asleep, and he gets hit with this great distress, weeping in his sleep, but he doesn't know why.
It feels less like, I don't know, personal sadness and more like some kind of cosmic signal, maybe. A tremor before something big happens.
And then they arrive. Two beings.
And the description is something else. Exceeding big, faces shining like the sun, eyes like burning light.
Fire from their lips, purple clothing, wings brighter than gold, hands whiter than snow. It's this intense, almost overwhelming picture of divine power.
Not quite human, but appearing as men. And they just stand at his couch and call his name.
And Enoch's reaction is just fear. Pure human fear. His face changes.
But they immediately try to calm him down. Have courage, do not fear. The eternal God sent us to thee.
And lo, thou shalt today ascend with us into heaven. I mean, talk about a summons.
Right. But practicalities first. They tell him, okay, tell your family what to do while you're gone and tell them not to look for you until the Lord brings you back.
And even though he's terrified, he does it quickly. Calls his sons Methuselah, Regime, Guy Dad.
His parting words are really something. He admits, I don't know where I'm going or what will happen, but then he gives this final warning.
Yeah, he tells them not to turn from God towards these vain gods who didn't make heaven and earth, saying they and their followers will perish.
He prays for them to stay strong in their faith and repeats, don't look for me. It's like a prophet's final message before being taken.
A very human moment mixed with this huge theological warning right before liftoff.
So farewell said, the ascent starts. The text says the angels took him on their wings, carried him up.
First stop, the clouds. He looks up, sees the ether, then they place him on the first heaven itself.
And straight away, it's this blend of cosmic and, well, earthly stuff. He sees this massive sea, bigger than any earthly sea.
And it's populated. He sees the elders and rulers of the stellar orders, 200 angels managing the stars and their movements.
And they fly around all who sail. What's that about?
It seems to connect earthly seafaring with this angelic activity in the first heaven, like celestial oversight for navigation. It's a cool detail.
It really is. And it continues with elements, right? He sees treasure houses of snow.
Yep, guarded by angels.
Okay.
And the treasure house of dew, described beautifully like olive oil, like flowers. Again, angels manage these stores, opening and closing them.
So even weather comes from heaven, directly managed by angels in this view.
Precisely. Divine administration starts right at the first level. From there, they go up.
To the second heaven. And the vibe changes completely.
Oh yeah, darkness. Greater than earthly darkness, the text says. And inside this gloom, prisoners.
Hanging, watched, waiting for judgment. And these are angels.
Fallen angels, dark-looking, weeping constantly. Enoch asks why they're being tortured.
And they answer.
They're God's apostates. They disobeyed, followed their own will, turned away with their prince, who, interestingly, is said to be fastened on the fifth heaven.
So punishment is spread across different levels. That's
complex. It is. And Enoch, still human here, feels pity for them, and they actually speak to him.
They ask him to pray for them. Man of God, pray for us to the Lord.
But Enoch's reply is so human, so vulnerable. He says basically, who am I? I'm mortal. How can I pray for angels? I don't even know where I'm going. Who's going to pray for me?
He's still processing all this.
Mm.
Just a man caught in this epic cosmic drama.
Exactly. And from that darkness, they ascend again.
To the third heaven. Another shift.
Big shift. Now he looks down and sees produce, food, goodness like nothing known on earth. Sweet flowers, fragrant fruits.
Yep.
Seems like it. And right in the middle, the tree of life, where the Lord rests when he visits paradise. It's described as ineffably good, beautiful, adorned with gold, fire, bearing all kinds of fruit.
And its root is connected to earth.
To a garden at Earth's end, yeah. And paradise itself is between corruptibility and incorruptibility. A kind of bridge, maybe.
And there are springs, flowing with honey, milk, oil, wine.
2 springs, dividing into 4 rivers, flowing quietly down into the paradise of Eden again, noted as between corruptibility and incorruptibility. And from there they flow out across the earth.
So earthly Eden gets its supplies straight from this heavenly paradise.
That's the picture it paints. Total perfection, no unfruitful trees, everything blessed, and guarded by 300 bright angels always singing.
Enoch loves it, right? He calls it sweet.
He does. And the guides explain who it's for, the righteous.
And they list who counts as righteous.
Oh, yes. Those who endure hardship, turn away from sin, judge fairly, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, help the fallen, support orphans, walk blamelessly, serve only God. For them, this place is eternal.
A very clear ethical code tied to this amazing reward. But wait, there's more to the third heaven.
There is. They take him to the northern side.
And it's not paradise.
The absolute opposite. A very terrible place. Descriptions are graphic. Tortures, darkness, gloom, no light, murky fire, a fiery river, frost, ice, thirst, cruel bonds, merciless angels with weapons, just pure torment.
Enoch is horrified. Whoa, how very terrible is this place?
And just like paradise, this place has its specific inhabitants, those who dishonor God.
And there's another list of sins.
A long one. Sins against nature like child corruption after the sodomitic fashion, magic, witchcraft, boasting about evil deeds, stealing, lying, slander, envy, hatred, fornication, murder.
Wow, it covers a lot.
Stealing souls, exploiting the poor for riches, harming others for gain, letting the hungry die when you could help, letting the naked freeze, and critically, not knowing their creator, bowing to lifeless idols made by hand.
That list is fascinating. It gives you such a clear window into the moral anxieties of the time. Social justice issues right alongside religious ones.
Exactly. It's about how you treat God and how you treat other people, especially the vulnerable. For all those sins, this terrible place is the eternal inheritance. This stark contrast within one heaven just hammers home the 2 possible outcomes.
Okay, so from reward and punishment in the third heaven, where next? The fourth.
Up to the 4th heaven, and the focus shifts dramatically again. Now it's all about cosmic mechanics.
Like how the universe works.
Pretty much. He's shown the movements, the successive goings, and light rays of the sun and moon. He's even measuring them, comparing their light.
Measuring the sun's path. How's it described?
As this incredible engine. A circle, wheels, moving like wind, incredibly fast, never resting day or night.
Not just the sun, though. There are stars with it.
8 great stars, 4 on each side of the sun's wheel, and each of those has 1,000 stars under it. So 8,000 stars accompanying the sun constantly.
Mind-boggling. And angels run it.
Armies of them. 15 myriads. That's 150,000, a 10 by day, 1,000 by night. Plus, 6 winged beings go ahead into fiery flames, and 100 specific angels actually kindle the sun, set it alight.
It's like a divine power plant. And there were those other creatures, too.
The phoenixes and chakadri. Yeah, these are bizarre. Lion feet and tails, crocodile head, rainbow colors, huge size, 12 wings like angels.
Oh, they do.
They attend the sun, carrying heat and dew, following God's orders. Their look is just. It's trying to describe something utterly alien using powerful known creatures, maybe.
Maybe. And the sun's path, it goes under the earth, too.
Yes, the text is clear. It revolved, goes under the earth, but its rays are incessant. Enoch is taken east, shown 6 huge gates where the sun rises depending on the season, month, hour.
He measures the gates.
Get specific again.
Yeah.
61.25 stadia wide each. That's what, over 7 miles wide? Huge specific numbers trying to grasp celestial scale.
And it sets through similar gates in the west, following the 365.25 day cycle.
Exactly. Then it goes down, draws its light under the earth, but its crown of shining stays in heaven, guarded by 400 angels. It travels under the earth for 7 hours at night.
Then comes back up in the east.
At the 8th hour of the night, it approaches the east, brings its light and crown, and flames out more than fire.
And that's when the weird creatures sing.
The phoenixes and Shakidri, yeah. They break into song, and it makes every bird on earth flutter and rejoice at the sunrise. They sing at God's command.
So the sunrise is this whole orchestrated event.
Totally. The sun gets its brightness, lights the earth. The text emphasizes this is the calculation shown to Enoch. The gates are for computing the hours of the year, and the sun's big cycle is 28 years before it repeats.
Okay, what about the moon? Is it just as complex?
Pretty much. 12 great gates for the moon, west to east. It goes through them at set times each month, with specific day counts for each gate passage, 31 days, 30 days, etc.
Adding up to.
354 days for the lunar year. And the text points us out it's 12 days short of the solar year, calls these the lunar apex.
So it acknowledges the calendar difference.
Explicitly. It even mentions a bigger 532-year cycle and how the quarter-day leap year thing is handled, omitted for 3 years, added in the fourth, taken outside heaven, changing the timing with 2 new months.
Wow. That level of detail about orbits, cycles, calendar adjustments like epochs and leap days, it's amazing.
It really is. It's like ancient astronomy and timekeeping, but fully embedded in this framework of divine creation and constant angelic management. It's not just nature, it's administered.
Okay, moving on up. What's between the heavens?
Ah, yes. In the midst of the heavens, Enoch sees armed soldiers serving the Lord, but with music, timpana, organs, incessant sweet singing. It's described as impossible to put into words, just astonishing. Enoch is purely delighted listening.
A realm of worship through sound. And then the fifth heaven.
The fifth, and here, another shift. He sees countless soldiers called Grigori.
Grigori. I've heard that name.
You probably have. They look human, but bigger than giants. But their faces are withered, they're perpetually silent, and crucially, there's no service on this heaven.
Silent and withered. Why? Enoch asks. Right.
He does. Why withered, melancholy, silent, no service?
And the answer ties back to the second heaven.
Directly. These are the Grigori, who, with their prince Satanael, rejected God. The ones in the second heaven were their followers.
And it gives more detail here about their fall.
Yeah, it echoes that story found elsewhere. Genesis 6, other Enoch books. 3 of them came down to earth, to Mount Hermon, broke their vows, saw human women were beautiful.
Took wives, messed up the earth. Giants were born, caused great enmity. That story.
That exact story. So God judged them. They weep for their brethren and await the final judgment day.
And Enoch talks to them.
He does. He tells them essentially, I saw your buddies down in the second heaven, saw their torments, I prayed for them, but God's judgment stands. They're condemned.
And then he challenges the Grigori themselves.
Right, to their withered faces. Why are you just waiting here? Why aren't you serving God? Aren't you afraid of making him even angrier?
Do they react?
Amazingly, yes. They listen. After he speaks, they talk to 4 ranks of angels. 4 trumpets sound. And the Grigori break their silence. They sing together, one voice described as pitifully and affectingly going up to God.
Wow. So Enoch, the mortal, prompted them to break their silence and sing this sorrowful song. He's already having an impact.
He really is. He's acting with some kind of authority even here. From the 5th, they go up again.
Sixth heaven. What's here?
7 bands of angels. Super bright, glorious, faces shining more than the sun, all looking the same.
And their job.
Huge responsibility. They make the orders, learn the paths of stars, moons, sun, and manage the good government of the world. They spot evil, issue commandments and instruction, and sing praises.
These sound like high-level managers.
They're called archangels, above other angels. They measure all life, heaven and earth, oversee seasons, years, rivers, seas, fruits, grass, food for everything. And this is key. They write all the souls of men and all their deeds and their lives before the Lord's face.
The celestial record keepers.
Exactly. Cosmic administrators and scribes. And among them, we see those creatures again. 6 phoenixes, 6 cherubim, 6 winged ones, singing constantly before God's footstool.
Okay, so structure, administration, record keeping. Getting close to the top now. 7th heaven.
The 7th. And the description ramps up again.
Yeah.
Immense light, fiery troops, great archangels, incorporeal forces, dominions, orders, governments, cherubims, seraphim, thrones, many-eyed ones. 9 regiments, the stations of light.
Overwhelming. Enoch gets scared again.
Trembling with terror. The guides have to reassure him again, have courage, do not fear.
And then, the big reveal.
They show him the Lord from afar, sitting on his throne, high up. Now, the text clarifies something interesting here.
What's that?
It asks basically, what's on the 10th heaven if the Lord dwells here on the 7th? It implies his ultimate place is even higher, the 10th heaven, Eravoth.
Ah, okay, so this is a manifestation, maybe.
Perhaps. And the angels approach the throne in ranks, bow, return, singing. The highest ones, cherubim, seraphim, six-winged, many-eyed, stay constantly before the throne, doing God's will, covering it, singing holy, holy, holy.
The song from earthly worship.
Exactly. Placed right here at the heart of celestial reality. And at this point, the two guides tell Enoch their job is done, thus far as it commanded us to journey with thee, and they leave him.
Alone, at the edge of the seventh heaven, he must be terrified.
Falls on his face in fear. But he's not abandoned. The Lord sends Archangel Gabriel.
Gabriel comes for him.
Yes, with reassurance. Have courage, Enoch. Do not fear. Arise before the Lord's face into eternity. Arise, come with me. Enoch is so scared his soul departs, he calls for his original guide.
Well, Gabriel just scoops him up.
Like a leaf caught by the wind, and places him before the Lord's face. But first, a quick tour of the very highest heavens.
Even higher than the seventh.
Yep. He sees the 8th heaven, Muzaloth. This one changes the seasons, drought and wet, and it holds the 12 signs of the zodiac above the 7th heaven.
Then the ninth.
9th heaven, Kuchevim. This is where the actual heavenly homes of the zodiac signs are. So the zodiac is spread across these two top tiers.
And finally, the 10th heaven, Eravoth, where God truly dwells.
There, he sees the appearance of the Lord's face.
And the description.
Intense, like iron glowing hot from a fire, emitting sparks, burning.
Wow.
Enoch struggles to describe it. Ineffable, marvelous, and very awful, and very, very terrible. He says he can't convey the reality, the being, the face, the voices, the throne not made with hands, the angels, the singing, the beauty, the glory.
He just falls down again.
Falls prone, and the Lord speaks directly with his lips. Have courage, Enoch, do not fear, arise, and stand before my face into eternity.
And Michael helps him up.
Archistratege Michael, the commander-in-chief, lifts him and leads him right before God.
This is it, the main event.
Seems like it. And God sort of confirms Enoch's status, asking his servants, let Enoch stand before my face into eternity. And they all agree, let him go according to thy word.
Like they're validating his presence.
Maybe. And their consent seems needed for the next step, Enoch's transformation.
He gets changed.
God tells Michael, take off his earthly clothes, anoint him with special ointment, put garments of God's glory on him.
And Michael does it. What's the ointment like?
Brighter than light, like sweet dew, smells mild, shines like the sun, and the effect, Enoch looks at himself and realizes he's like one of his glorious ones.
He's transformed. He can handle being there now.
Exactly. And now, in this state, the real reason for his trip is revealed.
Which is?
God calls another archangel, Pravu. This one's known for super fast knowledge, the one who writes down all God's deeds.
Okay, the divine secretary.
Basically, God tells Pravu, get the books from the archives, get a fast-writing pen, give them to Enoch, and deliver some choice and comforting books too.
Praviel teaches Enoch.
Teaches him everything, all the works of heaven, earth, sea, elements, their movements, thunder, sun, moon, stars, seasons, years, days, hours, wind, angel numbers, and songs, all human things, language, life, commandments, instructions, singing, everything worth learning.
That's a lot of information.
An unimaginable amount. Pravu had already written it down, but Enoch gets a specific, unique task.
What does he have to write?
Pravu tells him, sit and write all the souls of mankind, however many of them are born, and the places prepared for them to eternity.
All souls, past, present, future.
For all souls are prepared to eternity before the formation of the world. Yes, their eternal destinies predetermined. Enoch is tasked with scribing this ultimate divine plan.
That's incredible. Does he do it?
For 60 days and nights straight, the text says, produces 366 books, a massive record of all he saw and learned.
And after all that writing?
God calls Enoch again, seats him at his left hand next to Gabriel, and speaks to him directly, calling him beloved.
And reveals the big secret.
The core secret. Tells Enoch essentially, everything you see, everything finished, I'm telling you about it from before the very beginning. Everything I created from nothing, visible from invisible.
But the key part is what hasn't tell.
Exactly. The Lord explicitly says, hear, Enoch, for not to vouted him. My angels have I told my secret. I have not told them their rise, nor my endless realm, nor have they understood my creating, which I tell thee today.
Whoa. So the deepest secrets, how the angels came to be, God's own nature, the process of creation weren't shared with the angels always around the throne.
But revealed only to this transformed human, Enoch. That's a massive claim in this text about humanity's unique potential or place.
It really elevates him, a confidant of God in a way the angels aren't.
Absolutely. And then the text gives us God's own account of that creation, told to Enoch.
How does this start?
God explains that before anything visible, he alone moved in the invisible. Unlike the sun, he had no rest, always creating. He conceived the thought, place foundations, make visible creation.
A restless creator. I like that image. What's the first step?
Commands the lowest parts. Let visible things come down from invisible. A being, a Doyle, descends huge, belly full of light. God tells a Doyle, become undone, let the visible out.
Foil.
Comes undone. Yeah, a great light bursts out. God is in the light. Light from light creates a great age, showing all the planned creation. God sees it's good.
Sets up his throne in the light.
Right there. Tells the light, go higher, be the foundation for the highest things. Above that light, nothing else. He looks down from the throne.
Okay, Act 2.
Summons the lowest again. Let Archus come forth hard. Archus appears hard, heavy, very red from the invisible. God tells Archus, open up, give birth.
Archus comes undone too.
Yep. An age comes forth, very great and very dark, carrying the lower creation. God sees it's good, tells Archus, go down, be firm, be the foundation for lower things. Below that darkness, nothing else.
So Edoil and Archus, like primal forces of light and darkness, foundation, pulled from the invisible.
Seems like it. Very different imagery than just speaking things into existence. It's more like birthing creation through these intermediate beings or principles.
Okay, Act 3. Water.
Takes from light and darkness, commands them. Be thick. They thicken. Spreads it out with light, becomes water. Spreads water over darkness, below the light. Makes the waters firm, the bottomless. Puts a light foundation around the water. Creates 7 circles inside. Shapes the water like crystal or glass. Sets paths for water, elements, the 7 stars in their heavens. Sees it's good.
Then separates light and dark.
Right. Separates them within the water. Light becomes day, darkness becomes night. Evening and morning, the first day. It echoes Genesis, but the process is unique.
Act 4. Land and sea.
Makes the heavenly circle firm. Gathers the lower water into one place. Chaos becomes dry land. Creates rock from the waves. Piles up dry land from the rock, calls it earth. The center is the abyss, the bottomless. Gathers the sea, sets its eternal limits, fastens the firmament, calls this day the first created.
Wait, first created after day 1, 2, 3. That's slightly odd phrasing.
It is. Maybe emphasizing the creation of the stable Earth-sea system as the foundational visible creation. It's a bit unclear how it fits the sequence perfectly.
Okay, 5th act. Angels and fire.
Creates the essence of fire for the angels. Looks at the rock. Lightning gets its nature from the gleam fire in water, water in fire, neither canceling the other out. Lightning is brighter than sun, softer than water, firmer than rock.
Poetic description.
Very. Then he cuts a great fire from the rock, and from that fire creates the 10 orders of incorporeal angels. Fiery weapons, fiery clothes. Commands each to stand in order.
And the fall happens right then.
Immediately. The text inserts, here, Satanael with his angels was thrown down from the height.
And it gives the reason again.
Right there. One angel turned away with his followers, conceived the impossible thought, put his throne higher than the clouds, become equal to God's power. For that, God threw him and his angels out. He flies constantly above the bottomless.
So the fall isn't ancient history in this account. It's part of the initial ordering of creation itself.
Exactly. The origin of evil is woven right into the fabric of the cosmos' formation here.
And that brings us towards the end of this particular vision Enoch received.
An absolutely incredible journey.
Yeah, let's just quickly recap this deep dive into the Secrets Book of Enoch. We saw Enoch called up by these amazing angels.
Ascending through multiple heavens, each totally different. Angels running the stars, guarding snow and dew.
Then that shocking second heaven with the tormented fallen angels, and the complex fifth heaven with the silent, withered Grigori.
And the third heaven, that amazing contrast between the beautiful paradise for the righteous, with its tree of life and flowing honey and milk.
And that horrifying place of torture on the northern side for very specific lists of sins.
Then the shift to cosmic mechanics in the fourth heaven. The sun and moon as these incredibly detailed, angel-operated machines, wheels, gates, thousands of attendant stars, phoenixes, chalkidry.
Specific measurements, complex cycles, calendar calculations, all under divine control.
We followed Enoch's own transformation anointed, clothed in glory, becoming like an angel himself, able to stand before God.
Which happened up in the seventh heaven, amidst the highest angelic orders, and ultimately before the Lord's face in the 10th.
And the core of it all, the revelation of secrets. Enoch being taught everything by Pravu, commissioned to write it all down in 366 books.
And hearing directly from God the secrets of creation, Secrets the text insists were not even told to the angels. How God created from non-being, the role of Adoyle and Archis.
The shaping of elements, the creation of angels from fire, and placing Satan's fall right within that initial ordering process.
It paints such a vivid, intricate picture of the universe.
Hmm.
So different from modern science, obviously,
Yeah.
but internally consistent in its own way.
Absolutely. A universe meticulously ordered, hierarchically managed by angels, with clear lines between good and evil, reward and punishment all mapped out.
It really makes you think about the sheer variety of ways ancient cultures try to make sense of the cosmos and, our place in it all.
Definitely. And it leaves us wrestling with that central provocative idea from the text itself. What does it truly signify for the author of this book? That the ultimate cosmic secrets, the mechanics of creation, God's own hidden nature knowledge, supposedly denied to the highest angels, was revealed instead to this one human being.